Alright, what I'm going to be doing today is to look at doing the two-point perspective using views that you've drawn of elevations and plan views. So there's an elevation view, another elevation view, and the plan view that you have drawn, and I'm going to show you how to go about doing that. You've done the plan view and your elevation views to the same scale. You then can reduce those to, well, a smaller scale. It doesn't really matter I've just reduced it down to about half of what it was. And after you've done that, you just take that photocopy of the thing that you've done, and you can then swing that around so that you get the angle that you want to view the object at. I'm just going to use this 30-60 degree idea. I'm going to take that, place that over there. All right, so that it's at that 30 degree. I'm then going to take that off, and I'm going to just draw a line at the point of the edge of that roof over there. So there we go. I'm going to just do that. That's quite important because I'm now going to be cutting that out so that I cut along that line, cut along that line, and cut along that line, and you'll see why I do that. So I've cut those out, and I can now take those and I can use them on my drawing. Right, the next step is to take a sheet of paper and to mark out a ground line, which the natural ground level of your building is going to go on. Your horizon line, you can see that I've basically lined that up more or less at the height that your eyes would be with inside that door. Okay, there's my horizon line. And then my picture plane, I've measured off, it's about, what's that? From that horizon line up to there, I've got about 65 millimeters up from there, and I've put a picture plane up there. Once you've done that, you can line the two elevation views up on that ground line so that the bases are on that. Right, once you've done that, you're going to locate a stationary point. I've put it approximately, 90, 100 millimeters away from that view over there, and I'm going to label it as SP, very, very important mark. That is where you're going to see the building. And when I say see the building, that is your position in relation to that building, and I'm going to place my view that I just cut out. Remember, I cut that 30-degree angle off there, and I can now place that with the corner of the roof at that SP mark over there. Right, there we go. I'm going to take some masking tape and stick that down at that angle on the drawing board. There we go. And there we go. Right, all stuck down, and I can now get on and start drawing my perspective. The next step is to find my vanishing points. Over here, I've got the ground line, the horizon line, where my eyeballs are in relation to this building. I'm going to take a line going from the stationary point all the way up to the picture plane, and I'm then going to drop that down onto the horizon line, and that's going to give me the right hand vanishing point. You can label it RVP. Obviously that's going at that 30-degree angle that we've set this building at, and I'm going to draw a line from the stationary point going up to the picture plane, drop that down onto the horizon line, and I end up with my LVP over here, LVP on the horizon line. Okay, so label that horizon line HL, and label that ground line GL, and you can label that PP as picture plane. All right, I'm going to start actually drawing this perspective drawing. To start with, you can see the overhang of the roof over there, and that's touching the picture plane, which means that it's got exactly the same height as the actual drawing itself. So I can take a line going straight the way across from the edge of that roof to that line coming off stationary point to the edge of the roof, and I can take a line going off to the RVP over here, right in vanishing point. Let me just use a different color. I think it'll be easier for you guys to see. There it is, going off to RVP over there. And I can also take a line going off to LVP over here. All right. Okay, can I find the corners of the roof? There's a corner over there and there's a corner over there. So let's find those two. How do I do that? I take that down to the stationary point over there, down to the picture plane, and I drop that down onto that line going off to RVP. And I can take a line going from that corner of the roof, going down to the picture plane, crosses over the picture plane over there, and I drop that down onto that edge of the roof coming out of there. And I can draw those lines in straight away because they are very much part of my picture. There's the edge of the roof going in that direction. There's the edge of the roof going in that direction. Although I don't need to draw that line in. Sorry, that was a bit of a bad move on my part. Right, I'm not going to draw that line in because there is no line going across there. All right, we'll see that. Okay. That gives me the corner of the roof over there. That corner of the roof at that point. That's what I've just found over there. Right. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to find the top of the roof. Okay, so I'm going to take a line going down over here. Step number 1, going down at that angle to the picture plane. Take step number 2, a line coming across from the height of the roof. Step number 3, drop a line down onto that roof height over there. It's going off to the right-hand side, so I must go off to the RVP. That's step number 4. Step number 4, a line going off to RVP over there. Step number 5, I'm going to take a line coming from the corner of the roof over here down to the stationary point. Well, not the corner of the roof, the sort of apex of the roof. Going down to the picture plane and obviously continuing down to a stationary point. I'm not going to draw the whole line. And I drop that down onto the line coming off to RVP over there. Once I've got that, I can then draw in the pitch of the roof over there. There it is, going up to there, and there it is, coming down to there. Right, I've got another point over there that I can take down to the stationary point. Okay, so taking that down to the stationary point. Okay, this is the ridge of the roof going from there all the way to there. Take it down to the stationary point over there, crosses over the picture plane at that point. I'm going to drop that down into my drawing over here, and I can draw in the ridge line of that roof. There it is. Okay, you can see that there's a line going from that point down to the corner of the roof over there, so I can draw a line going from that point down to the corner of the roof over there. Right, there's more or less the roof done. I now need to find where the walls are. To do the walls, I'm going to take a line going out from the corner of that wall to the picture plane. Where is that wall? Well, it is on the ground, isn't it? So step number 1, take it to the picture plane at that 30-degree angle. Step number 2, take it down to the ground line. Okay. Step number 3 is to take that off to the RVP over there. And step number 4, I'm going to take a line coming from the corner of that wall over there down to the picture plane and drop that down into the picture. Right. There it is. You can see that it's not exactly on the same line as that SP. It's just slightly in from the ground line, and I can now start looking at where that wall is. I can draw that line going straight up. It goes in underneath that edge of the roof, so we don't need to worry about trying to find the top of it just yet. Right, once I've got that, I can find the other corner of that roof, of the wall. There it is over there. So I'm going to take a line going from that corner of the wall down to the stationary point. There we go. crosses over the picture plane. I drop that down into my picture over here, and I'm going to be able to draw in the line going all the way across there, giving me the bottom of that wall. I can then draw a line going up to the underneath the roof over there, and I can then start looking at where all the doors and the windows, etc. are on this thing. Right, let's have a look at the doors and windows. You can see that I've got a window over there, and a door, and a whole bunch of windows. You'll see that they're all at the same height, luckily for us. And I can then take this information, I'm going to take that information across over here. There is the height of the windows, all right? I'm going to, let's just take that all the way across. There's the height of the windows. Let's take a line coming across from where the windows are. Okay, there's my windows over there, taking them across to the picture plane over there. I'm going to drop that down. Touches that line coming out from the windows, and I can take that off to RVP over here. There's the top of the windows and the doors, etc. Let's start with this window over here. I'm going to take a line coming down from the side of that window down to there, and side of that window there. Let's drop that down into this view over here. There's the side of the window, side of the window. Right, I need the base of that window. There's the base of that window over there. Okay, it's that same window, so I can drop this down. You can see there it is coming across picture plane, drop it down. There's the top of the window. There's the base of the window. Where's that going off to? That's going off to RVP over there. It's going off to RVP over there. And straight away, I would be able to draw in a little window story over there. And the top of the window over here. There we go. That's that. Draw that up there. Draw that up there. Okay. That window obviously has a bit of a depth to it, so I can take a line going off to LVP. Just a little line going off to LVP over there. The thickness of that wall, etc. You can get that from over here. And I can draw in a line coming down to stationary point. Drop that down into my view. Okay. Sorry, what did I just do there? Sorry, no, that's not right. So let's just get a brain over here. Take a line coming from the corner of the window that I'm trying to find. There it is, coming down there. Dropping that down over here. And you can now get the thickness of that window. There it is, going up over there. And that little piece of line going off to LVP over there. And I can then draw in a line going from the intersection of that little line and that little line going off to RVP over there, giving me the sort of windowsill effect over there. Right, once I've got that, let's have a look at this door. Right, where's the door? There's the door over there. Let's take a line coming across over here. Okay, I'm going to take a line going down. Well, there it is, it's going down over there, same as that. Comes down over there, touches the line that I just drew out from the door, and I'm going to go off to RVP with that line going off to RVP. Let me just draw that in red, just easier to see what I'm doing. There's the bottom of the door over there. How do I find that now? I take lines coming from the door, line from the corner of the door over there, a line from the corner of the door over there, and I can drop that door down into my drawing over here. There it is. It's very, very, very close to the window over there. Obviously with the perspective, it's tricky. It has the same height as the windows, so you've already got that line. And there it is, it's just next to that. And I can draw in the top of the door going off to RVP over there. There it is. So you can see the height is basically staying the same along that blue line that I've got over there. Right, let's continue. I've got another 2 windows over there, same idea. Take those windows down. Take a line down. Take a line down. Take a line down. Take a line down over here. Another window. There. And there. Take those 2 lines down. Right, I've got the 2 windows, and what I need to do is to find the base of those windows. Take that across over here. Okay, there was the line coming out from the windows, dropping down, touches that new line that I just drew out there. That's going to go off to RVP, getting me the base of the windows. I've got the heights of the windows, they're all in place, and I can now start drawing in those little windows over here. There we go. There's that one, that one, that one, that one, and you can see the perspective working out really, really beautifully on this drawing, because you can see in the actual 2-dimensional drawing that I've got here, those 2 windows are basically exactly the same. In this perspective, you can see how that window is getting small, or the size of that window and the size of that window, they don't look identical. That's because they're getting smaller because of the perspective. There's another 2 windows. I'm not going to do those 2 windows because they are basically the same idea. Take the lines coming from those, drop them down into the picture. What I am going to do is I'm going to just take a little line going from the corner of this window over here off to LVP, just a little line going out there. Find the back of that window, there it is, back corner of that window over there. Take a line from there down to picture plane, drop that down into your picture over here. Okay, you get that little corner at that point. You can then draw in line going out there, and a line from where that little line going off to LVP intersects with that vertical line, and you can then draw in a line going off like that, giving me the idea of that windowsill. And you do the same sort of story on this one, giving you a very, very, very small little story going on with the windowsill. There you go, and a little line coming out from RVP. Right, there we go. There's some windows done. Right, we need to go off in this direction now. We've got the corner of the building over there, and it's going to continue out to that corner over there, which would be there on the building. So I can take a line going down from that corner of the building to SP. There it is, dropping down onto the picture plane. You've got to drop that down all the way down here, and I can now draw a line coming out from the corner of that building off to the LVP over there. There it is going out there, and I can then draw in that little line, nice and dark, showing me the edge, the bottom of the building going out there. Right, it then goes up to a certain point over there, which we don't yet have. I'm going to take that measurement. Let's just, I'm actually going to get it off the top of this wall over here and then project it back. So I think we're going to end up with some issues otherwise. Oh no, I think we can do this. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take a line from the top of this building over here down to the picture plane over there. I'm going to take a line down over here. And I'm going to find where that wall intersects with the roof over there. There it is. Once I've got that, I'm going to take that off to RVP. There we go. Take that down to RVP over there. All right. And once I've got that point, I can now take this line that I've got going from that corner over there straight up to that line that I've got going down to RVP. Right, there we go. There's the top of that wall. I now need to find where it intersects with the ridge of that roof. I'm going to be able to find that over here. There's the top of the wall intersecting with the ridge of the roof. I can take that down now. There it is, going down there. I'm going to drop that down onto the drawing over there. That would be where the wall is. And I can now take a line coming up to that point from the top of that. Obviously, don't go all the way through there. And you can see the edge of the roof. This edge of the roof, that needs to go off to RVP. So let's do that. There it is, going off to RVP. And there's the overhanging roof of this building. Right, there's that little piece of the little platform thing that's going out there. Let's find where that is. That's in line with this wall that's coming out here. So let's just find that corner over there. And take that down. There it is, coming down onto the picture plane. And that's going to drop down over here. And I can now draw in the little platform thing coming out over there. And yeah, it's got some little pylons coming down a little bit from there. And there'd be like a little bit of earth going down. I'm not going to go into too much detail there. I'm just going to draw little lines coming up for the little pylons going up. But I think you can get an idea as to how to go about drawing this whole thing. I'm going to do one of these little windows just to show you how to go about doing that. I need to find the heights of those windows. Okay. In fact, you've got the top of the window. You can see the top of the window reaches the edge of the wall over there. You can take that going straight the way across to LVP. There's the top of the window. I can take that down because that's accurate enough to get that. Okay, the bottom of the window, I can do the same thing over here. You can see it touching the edge of the wall over there, coming from the base of those windows over there. That's going off to LVP. Okay. And yeah, those windows over there and those windows over there, they're the same size windows, so it makes it very, very easy. I'm just going to drop these lines down to the stationary point over here. Take a line going down to stationary point there. Line going down to stationary point there. Do another one over here. Line down to stationary point. A line down to stationary point. Drop that into your drawing. Over there. Shift that across. Over there. There's the one window. Over there. Over there. And I can now draw in those two little windows. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. And I can draw in that story over there. And we've got our windows. We can do the little windowsill story again. Little line going off to RVP now. Line going off to RVP. Find the back of that window. Take that down to stationary point. Cross over the picture plane at that point. Drop that down into the picture. There's the little line that I can draw up from there. And I can then draw a little line going off to LVP from the intersection of those two lines. There we go. That's basically what you need to do for your perspective.